talk to Mario a couple weeks ago and talked about what IdeaMensch was, and that was about the process of bringing ideas to life. I got off the phone and immediately wanted to write some things down. It was all fresh in my head, and I thought, I want to know what my process is. What, if I have an idea, how am I getting it to come to fruition? So I sat there for a couple minutes, and I kind of got distracted, and next thing I knew, I was on my phone because I hadn't checked it in like 3 minutes, and I wanted to check Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. So as I did, I was going through and noticing that everywhere in all the social media stuff, there were all these quotes from Heavy D, who is a very famous, or used to be famous, early 90s rapper. And I was like, what is happening? Who cares? Heavy D? Come to find out, he'd actually passed away that day. And the quote that I came across that kind of caught my eye and made me question was this from Heavy D: all glory comes from daring to begin. And I thought first, really guys, we're gonna quote Heavy D? I mean, great. But I read it again to myself out loud. All glory comes from daring to begin. And I thought, that's truth for me. That's actually exactly how I kind of made my ideas happen, is I just took that first step. So I got really excited, and I thought, I'm gonna make this great. I'm gonna bring a pop culture reference. It's gonna be timely. Talk about how, it's all gonna make sense for my presentation. And I immediately Googled it, and I thought, all right, so why did Heavy D say this? Well, of course he didn't say that. He quoted someone else. I found out that it was actually this gentleman, who has a very nice mustache from November. You guys are taking part. His name is Eugene Ware, and he actually was pretty brilliant, all kinds of things in his life. But it kind of led me to research all day, actually, about ideas and how they start. And again, it made me realize that it is just about taking that first step and kind of having the courage and daring to just really take that step. And that's exactly how the DoGood Bus happened. Basically was kind of inspired by two different things. This is actually out of order. It was inspired by a couple different things, but I want to kind of explain first of all sort of what it means to us and what we do on the bus. Mario did describe that briefly, but basically we have a bus, and it's a little bit self-explanatory. We're a bus, and we do good. We basically load people up, and they have no idea where they're going. So that's sort of the fun part of it for us. It's a mystery. All they signed up for is they want to do good, and then we kind of do the rest. So on the bus, we have 3 goals. The first is to create awareness. So we do want to show people here in the city how they can give back. A lot of people aren't sure, or they're overwhelmed, they don't know how. So we hope to put them on the bus and kind of show them how to do that. Secondly, we want to create community. And when we say that, we want to show people that there are like-minded people all over Los Angeles, and specifically in Los Angeles. And I think it's really important to have community here, and people are having a hard time finding that. So we like to put people on a bus and say, look, everybody's just as cool as you, or just as nerdy, and they are like-minded, and they want to give back. So that's kind of our goal there. And finally, we want to encourage continued support. So we hope that they have a good time, they feel good when they give back, and then they will do it again and again and again, and encourage their friends. So the way that this idea started, I kind of want to talk about 2 things, just really quickly how the actual idea started, but then more importantly about this Foster the People tour that Mario mentioned, because that sort of speaks more to my process of kind of making an idea happen. My business partner and I, who's that gentleman right there, his name is Steven. We've been volunteering in Los Angeles for about 10 years. And over that 10 years, we've been doing it together and separately. And people always ask, how do you volunteer? How do you get involved? You guys are always doing something good. I don't know how to do it. There's too many things online. And we never really had an eloquent answer. It was just sort of, you do it. I don't know, you just volunteer. You find something and you do it. So, and kind of in the range of those 10 years, we also had a birthday party on a party bus. This was actually my 30th birthday party, and my brother and I decided that it would be really cool to have a surprise party, but not surprise the birthday girl, actually surprise the people on the bus. So we invited them to a party. We told it was my birthday, and we said it's going to cost this much to come to this event. You have no idea what you're doing. We promise it'll be fun. And they did. They showed up, and we put them on a bus. And what was cool and inspiring about this, and what kind of brought these 2 things together, was we put people on this bus who didn't know one another. I had friends from my water polo team. I had friends from volunteering. I had friends from work, people I'd known my entire life. And all of them didn't know one another. So within about 15 minutes, it was amazing to see people kind of connect right away. And some of that was just the physical closeness of being confined in a bus. But they had to kind of quickly let their walls down. There was no way to kind of walk to a corner or go to the bathroom or, any of those things. So it was really cool to see that. So Stephen and I thought, if we had a bus and we wanted to have fun and we wanted to give back, we could show all of our friends that had been asking us how to make this happen and just show them how to do good. Just take them to the place and make them volunteer. So we did it, and we've been doing it for a year here in Los Angeles. And we were lucky enough to partner with the band Foster the People, and that's sort of where the idea and the bringing that to life kind of shows my process. This is Foster the People. If you don't know them, they're a relatively new band. They've been around for about 2 years, indie pop band. They were just on Saturday Night Live, and they are doing really well. They're on an international tour, and their name, actually, Foster the People, is sort of kind of came about because they knew as a band, if they made it in this industry, that they wanted to use their voice and use their influence to do good and to give back. And they wanted to do that right away, immediately as a young band. So we kind of started talking to them about how they were going to do that, and they needed to do it right away and not wait until they were, U2 or someone like that. So in kind of making this idea happen, there were two things that were really important. It was daring to begin, as I mentioned, so it was all about taking that first step. But I think the second most important thing was persistence. The step is easy, and in fact, for this it was really easy because it was like, okay, rock band, 24 cities, 25 cities, hanging out with a cool band, getting to do good all the way across the United States and 2 cities in Canada. I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. Some of the harder steps to take were quitting my job that I'd had for 10 years to make this happen. Also going into an idea where I had other people's opinions. So most times when I have an idea, I kind of get to go and I have to answer to myself. I don't really have to see if someone likes my ad campaign or my design or my ideas and my budget. But this, going in, I had to talk to the band, I had to talk to management, I had to talk to the record label. So all these people sort of had to have an opinion as well. And I was maybe a little nervous because most things I had done, again, I just had to answer to myself. So we did convince the band. And as we were kind of going in, I thought, this is easy. We're just going to get a sponsor because they have this massive following. This is them at Lollapalooza this year. And I thought, if all those people are going to support us and all these numbers, I mean, Coke is totally going to be like, yeah, I want to do that. Well, we made this agreement with them at the very end of July, if not the 1st of August, and had to be on the road by September 12th. So that's just over a month to raise $150,000 and to also plan a road trip essentially, in 25 cities, find 25 causes, find 750 volunteers. It was a lot, it was overwhelming. But again, I just said, I'm gonna take the step, I'm gonna do it. And we started talking to Coke and to JetBlue and people like that, and I realized very quickly that to get that kind of money in 4 weeks, it didn't matter if they wanted to do it or not, there's no way they were gonna be able to write that check. So I was kind of disappointed after 2 weeks of kind of pursuing that, and then I thought, they have all these people that are really excited about the band, and they probably want to do good, and they have 150,000 fans on Facebook. If every one of those gave me $1, we're done, we're on the road. And I thought, I believe in people, and if it were me, I would give $1, easy. So we decided to do, as many people have done, some crowd funding. There's Kickstarter, we actually used Start Some Good. And we set ourselves a goal of $100,000. And again, I thought, easy, because everyone can just give $1 and they get rewards to do it. So it's perfect. We had everything from $5, you got your photo on the bus, so we actually wrapped the bus and you could have your picture on the bus, to $60 for an autographed CD, all the way up to $5,000 to have dinner with the band. Now, we were 4 days away from the deadline on here. You see up here, our goal was actually $200,000. But on the Start Some Good, you have to make it to a tipping point, which is that middle point. If you make it to the tipping point, you get to keep your money. If you don't, then you have to give the money back. So we're 4 days away, and I have $40,000 right here. This says 101, it actually said 40. And so now I'm really freaking out, and I'm thinking, okay, I had this great idea, and I was overconfident, and not only is it going to be me that's going to be disappointed, but I have now begged my friends and family to give me money. I have invested all these other people that have now given me their money. I have the band's name. It's going to be sort of in trouble here if we fail. So I locked myself in my house for like 36 hours. Didn't want to talk to anybody. I cried. I talked to my mom, I think, once, and I was like, this is it. I'm a failure. It's over. We're not going to make it. And after kind of stepping back and getting myself off of all the social networking and obsessing about, okay, they have a new fan, I should find that new fan, I should tell them what it costs, maybe they have $10,000. I took some time, I backed off a little bit, and then I had a great conversation with their manager, and we were like, hello, we have a band, they play music, what if we just do a show? Let's do a special show, a special ticket, we'll raise the rest of the money. So in 2 days, we found a venue that gave it to us for free. We booked a show, we had people buy tickets, and we literally, I mean, by the hair of our chinny chin chin, made the $100,000 actually just over before the site was going to be like, nope, sorry, we're giving the money back. So we did it, and I think in this whole thing, for me, again, it was all about persistence, but it was very, very much about taking that first step. And I think that a lot of people have big ideas, and they kind of put them on a shelf or file them away in the mini folders in your brain, and just don't take that step. And I think if you really believe in it and you have the courage to do that, even if it's just like putting blinders on and looking at the end and not giving up, or if it's taking a friend's hand to kind of like cross you over that line, I think it works. I mean, we're sort of proof of that. We just finished a tour. I've been back for about 3 weeks, and we did 25 cities, we did 750 volunteers, we did 11,000 miles. We rocked out, seriously. We did after parties, we did it all. So again, I just encourage you to really believe in that statement. I mean, Heavy D had to be right, clearly. So I'm going to read it one more time and kind of let it soak in. All glory comes from daring to begin. Thank you.